Good afternoon, everyone. Folks are still joining us through Zoom, and we may have some folks joining on the Sowers of Justice Facebook page. So we'll just wait a minute or two for everyone to join us, and in the meantime, we'll mute the microphones. Okay, welcome everyone to the third Wake Up Wednesday virtual vigil, which is co-sponsored by the Louisville Showing Up for Racial Justice, the Interfaith Coalition for Immigrant Justice, and the Source of Justice Network. My name is Brid Garachamani. I'm a member of the Louisville Showing Up for Racial Justice faith group. During this vigil, we will have 2 periods of silence. During the second silence, you'll be invited to share your intentions. If you're in Zoom, you may do this through the chat feature, and on Facebook, you're most welcome to share your intentions through the comments. The vigil will conclude exactly at 12:30. If you cannot stay for the whole time today, or if you'd like to see it again, we invite you to view the recording of this vigil. It will be available on the Sowers of Justice Network's Facebook page. We will begin our vigil today with 526 seconds, 4 minutes and 86 seconds of silence in honor of those who have been victims of police violence. We're very honored to have today our reflection and prayer leader, Kumar Rashad. He's a board member of the Sowers of Justice Network. Kumar is a math educator at Jefferson County Public Schools and a lifelong social justice advocate. He's been involved for more than 10 years in mentoring young Black men through the initiative Men of Quality. We're honored to have him present our reflection today on the topic of community safety for all.
Right, thank you. I'd like to start off by greeting you all in the Arabic words of peace and paradise of Assalamu alaikum. And what that means is, may peace be unto you. The part in the word Assalamu alaikum, the first word is salam. Salam is the Arabic word for peace, and that's what Islam is. The word Islam, if you say it slowly, is salam. That means it's got the word salam in there too. It means submission to peace. I'm a Muslim. If you say that slowly, Musalam. That means I'm a maker of peace. Muslim means maker of peace. So in every aspect of Islam, we talk about peace. We talk about benevolence. We talk about mercy. You know, even in the midst of war, if anyone offers peace, everyone stops for peace. Everyone must stop for peace. I'd like to take you to a prayer. Start off with the first prayer that every Muslim learns. It's called the Al-Fatiha. It's the beginning. It's the first prayer of the Quran. A devout Muslim would say this prayer a minimum of 17 times a day, a minimum of 17 times a day. It's that important. It's not the first surah that Allah revealed to our Prophet Muhammad, may peace and blessings be upon him, but it's also but it is still regarded as the most important surah. It's called the Fatiha, the beginning, Arabic and English. Arabic version is Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Irrahmanirrahim. Malik Yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdina siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladina an'amta alayhim. Ghayra maghdubi alayhim waladdallin. Ameen. Which means, in the name of Allah, the beneficent, the merciful. Starts off the thing we say, beneficent, the merciful. All praise is due to Allah, the ruler of the worlds, the beneficent, the merciful. It repeats it already, the beneficent, the merciful. Master of the day of judgment. Thee alone do we worship, thee alone do we seek refuge. Guide us on the straight path, the path of those whom thou have blessed, not the path of those whom thou art wrathful, or to those who go astray. I think that is so important. It's so important because, you know, in the name of Allah, the beneficent, the merciful, Master of the day of judgment, thee alone do we worship, thee alone do we seek thine aid. It states so confidently that, you know, all of our prayers and worship are for Allah only, are only for our Lord. All right. So we have to apply this in our daily lives because our daily life is about having peace. How are we going to have peace? How are we going to have peace? First of all, can I get everybody just to read this shirt real quick? It says, litter is lame. Okay. Now, what this is, this shirt comes from Operation Brightside, which is an organization that helps come out to your neighborhood and help clean up your neighborhood as far as debris, trash, and, you know, aesthetics, beautify the neighborhood. I'm a neighborhood association president, and we've had an event where we've gone out to our neighborhoods and we clean up trash. All right. That's the first step. It's always the first step because cleaning trash makes a physical statement in your head to say, oh, this area looks nice. It makes something mental. People start getting the message and they want to join. That applies to pretty much everything because that's how ignorance and violence is in our life. We see it around. We got to come outside and do something to fix it, to change it. So we've got to do some things. We've got to read. So, but what I found out when we were doing this trash cleanup initiative is that we would clean up the roads, but then a couple of days later, we just see trash laid out against the road. So it goes back to that parable, you know, you can feed a man a fish, but if you teach them, you know, they'll live forever, you know what I mean, they'll live better, you know how that phrase goes. But it's the same thing. So we just thought that we need to do more as far as putting trash cans on their roads so people who are traveling can dispose of those, paint some murals around there to give out a message that, you know, litter is lame. Ignorance is lame. Violence is lame. Whatever your mantra is, put it on there and get it out to the people. Get it out to the people. I'm going to stop right there and I'll continue my second part in a minute.
Thank you so much, Kumar. We're going to pause again for another brief silence, and we invite you, if you're here with us in Zoom, we invite you to share some reflections or intentions concerning the words that Kumar has given us in the chat. If you're joining us through the Sowers of Justice Facebook page, please feel free to leave some comments in the, some reflections or some reactions in the comments. There, we'll take about 3 minutes and then come back, and Kumar will leave us with a last message.
Yeah, I appreciate Kumar sharing that. And it's a simple action, but it did immediately start me thinking about, well, we could do something like that on our street, you know, just a simple thing. And we do have a neighborhood group that is very anxious to keep us safe. We're kind of a downtown neighborhood. And that could be an action just by getting people out walking and picking up some trash. So thank you.
I'm glad I tuned in today. And Kumar, thank you for your reflections and comments. I'm also on our neighborhood board, and we're not experiencing peace in multiple levels. And we don't have a common language that we can talk to. We're having a meeting on the 22nd, and I write down things that I want to say that might be heard by everybody. But I think I'm going to go back and just pray for a couple of days and then try to go back to thinking about what to do and what to say. Thank you.
Very welcome. Back on, Brett.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you very much for your comments, everyone, in the chat and verbally. Okay, Kumar, back to you.
All right, appreciate it, appreciate it. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Thank you, thank you. I want to start off again reading another surah. This surah is called Surah Alaq, which means the blood clot, if you will. It's basically talking about the blood clot of which all man was born from and expanded. So even though the first surah was called the opening, this is the beginning. The first surah, a chapter revealed to the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him. We say salawatu alayhi wa sallam in Arabic, but this is called al-Alaq. All right. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Ikuraris bismi rabbika allazi khalaq. Khalaqal insana min alaq. Ikra wa rabbukal akram. Allazi allama bi qalam. Allama al insana ma lam ya'lam. Kalla innal insana la yahtuwa. Ara'ahu istaqniya. Inna illa rabbika ruja'a. Ara'aita allazi yanha. Abidan iza sala. Ara'aita in kana alal huda. Aw amara bitaqwa. Ara'aita in kasaba wa tawalla. Alam ya'lam bi anna allaha yara. Kalla la ilam yantahi las nasfa'an binasiya. Nasiyatin kazibatin khatiya. Falyad'u nadiya. Sannadu zabaniya. Kalla la tutihu washtud waqtarib. In the translation of that, the very first word, you know, in the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. If we have to say all of that, we start every surah off by saying in the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. Any chapter we read in the Quran, we always start off by saying in the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. So the first line is really the line after that. And the first word that we believe that Allah gave to our Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, was the word ikra, or read. All right, read, the most important thing, because you have to have knowledge. People have to have knowledge. You've got to get these messages out to the community. They've got to be able to read these messages. We've got to enlighten them. We've got to find ways to find things for people to read. If we got to get an artist in the neighborhood to paint a mural with the message that's on there, we got to try to find the ways to do that. Some communities are doing that, and we got to find ways of raising that money to get that. After that, read in the name of the Lord and cherish you, who created man out of a mere clot of congealed blood. Proclaim, and the Lord is most bountiful. He who taught the use of a pen. Hold up, stop right there. We just got finished saying that the very first word that Allah revealed to the Prophet, peace and blessing be upon him, read. 4 lines later, he's talking about writing, because that's exactly what we've got to do. Knowledge. Everyone has got to get their knowledge. It's got to get their knowledge. Within that, you have to internalize that. And then once you internalize that, then you have something on your mind, because a lot of people are doing it backwards. They're writing. Basically, they're just expressing their opinions, or they're expressing, you know, their feeling, they're expressing their more outrage, but they didn't do that first part, reading, getting that knowledge first. So there's just a lot of people are just reacting off of ignorance, and ignorance is just like that clutter in the street. We got to put it in the trash can, not sweep it under the rug. We've got to do real things. So we've got to read. We've got to write. Not only do we've got to read about our policies, and we've got to be able to write new policies. We got to be able to suggest new policies. We've got to be able to read and incorporate our stories and act out of our stories. You know, we've got to be able to read to find out ways that we can help our communities and our neighborhood. What's your role? What's your role? My role is that I know that I'm a mentor to a lot of Black men, because that's just my lane, and that's just how I am. That is where I have a big advantage in that area, and that's where I'm needed the most. That's my lane. What's yours? Is it supporting neighborhood grocery stores? There's one going up in the West End that needs some help. We need more of those. If you believe in the food desert, are you we got to stand up and say something. Are you supporting your nonprofits in your areas and trying to find places to support? You got to read about it. You got to write something. What is your lane? Read about it more. Write about it more. He who taught the use of the pen taught man which he knew not. But man doth transgress all bounds, because he looks upon himself as self-sufficient. Verily, to the Lord all of us return. Do you see someone who forbids a man when he turns to pray? Do you see when he's on that road to guidance and trying to enjoy his righteousness? Why would you try to deny that man and turn him away? Don't you know that Allah sees everything you do? Let him beware. Because if he desists, look at this part. This part is where it gets real, real wild. Let him beware. If he desists, we will drag him by the forelock, a lying, sinful forelock. Then let him call his help to his counsel comrades. We, check that out, we again will call on the angels of punishment to deal with him. But hey, don't believe him. Your job in this is to bow down and pray and get closer to your Lord. That's what your job is. In Christian terms, that's similar to saying, vengeance is mine, said the Lord. If you're reading in the tool like that, because he talks about, we, so the Lord and his angels are going to deal with that problem, deal with that resistor, and the angels of punishment are also going to deal with him. But your job is to not listen to the haters, the people who want violence, the people who are, that's funny, informed by ignorance, therefore uninformed, but loud about the, arrogant in the ignorance is, if you want to say it that way, arrogant in the ignorance. Don't listen to them. Our job is to pray to Allah, pray to, and let that determine how we move and how we transform our certain neighborhoods. So we've got to pray, read, and write. It's not all about being passive. It's about being active. But when you talk about that, just think about this, that everybody talks about the word jihad, but I just want you to understand that Islam, jihad means struggle. People have perverted that word to mean whatever they want to, war and the war of fake causes. But jihad is the struggle, and the biggest jihad in the Quran says the jihad is the struggle within, the struggle to fix ourselves first, to read, expel our ignorance, and then produce. That's why we write. Pray, reflect, act. I like whoever just said that. And that's pretty much where we are. And I think I will, jihad is definitely, there's many types of it. The jihad is really just, the Quran is, a lot of people think of jihad, but, it really talks about jihad being more of an internal struggle than just some type of war. But even in any of the surahs that they talk about war, the end of the surah always says, but peace is best for you. For any situation, mercy is best for you. Mercy and peace, and be benevolent. So I'll just end it off again by telling everybody, may peace and blessings be upon you. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Peace be upon you too, Kumar. Thank you so much. We really appreciate your inspiring message about reading, writing, taking action, finding our lane. Definitely have given us some really wonderful things to think about this week, and we thank you so much. Thank you all for being here and for joining us, for your comments. May peace be upon you. have a wonderful week. We'll see you again next time.
Thank you.